Ladies and gentlemen, as you're coming in from the march, please locate a seat and get situated as quickly as possible. We do want to get the program started. Many of us have to leave and go back to other schools and meet busing schedules, so we will be starting the program momentarily. Once again, as soon as we get everybody seated, we will get the program underway.
Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 24th Annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Program. Today, as we celebrate the 81st anniversary of the birth of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we reflect on the legacy of his life and his work. Our theme brings to mind Honor the March, Inherit the Dream, the marches that highlighted his life of nonviolence, the civil rights movement, and ultimately led to his untimely death in 1968. To highlight a few marches, in 1955, the bus boycott after Rosa Parks was arrested. In 1963, the Freedom Walk of 125,000 people in the city of Detroit. And the famous March on Washington, his I Have a Dream speech. And then in 1968, the march to support the sanitation workers on strike in Memphis, Tennessee, where he was shot and killed on April 4th. As we further reflect today, we have seen the dream become a reality when on January 21st, 2009, Barack Obama became the first African-American president of the United States. This would have been an impossibility had it not been for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his struggle for equality and justice for people of color. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. certainly opened the doors to new horizons of hope and gave the impetus to new vistas of opportunity for all. Now could we bow for a moment of silence? Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Chaz Rodriguez. Chaz is a communications major who's been attending Grand Rapids Community College since 2007. He enjoys reading, music, and anything that makes him smile. He joined the Black Student Union because of the group's focus on political activism and issues that pertain to urban communities. Chaz feels that Dr. King's memory should be a reminder that all a revolution needs is an idea and one person to stand up for it. Chaz?
Thank you, Chairperson Anderson. On behalf of the student body and staff here at GRCC, I would like to welcome you to this year's Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebration. This is not a day to dig up the social ills of the past, but to celebrate the accomplishments of the present. Though race relations in this country are not perfect and never will be, we have still come a long way from designated drinking fountains in segregated schools. For the first time, we have a man of color in the White House, an Indian governing Louisiana, and GRCC has a Latino presiding over their Black Student Union. This is a day to recognize and revel in our ethnic differences. The colors of the rainbow are separate, but yet without each and every color, you cannot have a rainbow. We all come from different backgrounds, tax brackets, and tastes, but without each and every one of us, America could not be. Our nation is one built upon the sweat and soiled hands of diversity. I hope today you come to realize what Dr. King was driving at, that the value of a person is not in their skin tone, but that their worth lies in their moral character, for it is virtue which binds all men. It is my honor to serve as your MC for today's celebration. I would now like to begin our program by welcoming our first performance. Please join me in welcoming the Grand Rapids Community College Choir under the direction of Mr. Kevin Dobreth. They will be performing the Negro National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, and Roll Jordan Roll. now my pleasure to introduce a well-known public servant of our community and state. He is the state senator of the 29th District and has a long and distinguished career in government and public service. He is a graduate of both Grand Rapids Community College and Grand Valley State University. Please welcome Senator Bill Hardeman.
Thank you very much for that warm welcome, and it is a pleasure for me to be here with you once again. I don't know how many times in a row I've been here, but I certainly enjoy this celebration of the life of a great man and also the vision that he had for this country and also for this world. I just want to share with you just for a few moments some of the very important words in my life that Dr. King expressed. Now, we all have our favorites, and we love his mountaintop speech. We love to talk about the dream. But there's a lesser-known talk that he gave that I just find very intriguing, partially because of the title and partially because of what it means. It's called Transformed Nonconformist. Now, you may wonder, what in the world is a transformed nonconformist? Well, Dr. King gave a talk back in 1954 and explained what he meant. Now, you know, Dr. King was a minister, and so he used as his text, he used Romans 12:2, and I just want to read that and talk to you about what that means and how Dr. King actually lived that. Here's what it says: "Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of God." Transformed nonconformist. You see, Dr. King actually lived those words. He had a dream. He wanted to do something that was right and just and good. And if he had allowed this world to, allowed himself to be conformed to this world, he never would have done it. But he didn't. He had the backbone to stand up and do what he thought was right. You see, why would a man have that much passion for his dream? Some of you may have dreams. I hope you do. I think we all should. Your dream may be to help bring about unity among all people. It may be to build a great business that employs many people and provides a wonderful service. It may be to educate people. I don't know what the dream is in your heart, but if it's good, I say hang on to it. And don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You see, some people won't work for their dream. Dr. King worked for his dream. He was even willing to suffer for his dream. He was even willing to die for his dream. Some people nowadays won't even be inconvenienced for their dream. It's just not worth it. But Dr. King invited us to be not conformed to this world, but be transformed. He said, don't be astronomically intimidated. Here's what he meant. We're citizens here on earth of the human population, but we're also citizens of eternity, he said. So don't be intimidated by what you see right here. Do what you know that it's right in your heart. And here's another statement that he made in another speech, Remaining Awake Through a Great Revolution, that I think encapsulates that thought. This is Dr. King speaking. On some positions, cowardice asks the question, is it safe? Expediency asks the question, is it politic or politically correct? And vanity comes along and asks the question, is it popular? But conscience asks the question, is it right? And there comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe nor, if I might say it, politically correct, nor popular, but he or she must do it because conscience tells him that is right. So my word to you today is what Dr. King said. Be a transformed nonconformist. Don't stand on doing things just because they're politically correct or people are trying to push you into a mold, but do what is right. And be like Dr. King. Change the world. It may be only a small portion of your world, but if we all do that and transform, this will be a better world for each and every one of us. Thank you for remembering the dream. God bless each and every one.
One of the One of the main reasons we celebrate today is to recognize the renewal and unlimited potential represented within the community of our young people. I am pleased to present just such a group of amazing young people to share their musical interpretation of Dr. King's work. They will be performing "To Be Free." Please put your hands together for the Forest Hills Trail School Choir, directed by Miss Brenda Baker.
Freedom. Chairs, would you please take the board?
I was waiting for him to go. At this time, I would like to welcome to the stage a member of the law firm Warner, Norcross, and Judd to present this year's winner of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Essay Contest. Please welcome Rodney Martin, Diversity Partner at Warner, Norcross, and Judd.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today on behalf of our firm. We are proud to have sponsored the Martin Luther King Essay Contest for 6th graders in the Grand Rapids Public Schools for the past 5 years. It's a great experience for us to have an opportunity to read these essays and judge them. We'd especially like to thank Carmen Fernandez and Cheryl Depker from the Southwest Community Campus for their help again this year in organizing this year's contest. We're happy to announce that we had 114 essays this year, and from them we've selected 4 winners and 17 honorable mention award recipients. The essays this year were, I can truly say, the best we've ever seen, which is fantastic. Could I ask all of the winners and the honorable mention students who are in the audience to please stand for a moment? We have Jose Longoria here, who I know is the second runner-up, and we have other students. Thank you very much. Thank you for your participation. And now I'm very proud to announce the grand prize winner in this year's contest. Her name is Cachet Allen. She is a 6th grader at Riverside Middle School, and our teacher is Mrs. Holt, who last year had the winning student as well. So I'd like to invite Cachet to come up to the microphone and to read her winning essay.
Dr. King once said, life's most urgent question is, what are you doing for others? That question was asked because people didn't and still don't seem to care about others even though we share the same world. He wanted us to help each other so that each person from our community learns to have a powerful self-image inside. People who feel good about themselves are often positive role models and end up passing the help forward. One of those role models I learned from is Loretta Claiborne. As a child, Loretta could not walk or talk. She was mentally challenged, but still accomplished her dream of being a track runner. More importantly, she helped people by giving her time to the elderly and being a role model for kids and grown-ups too. It was difficult to grow up to be who she is now, but Dr. King would be pleased with what she was able to accomplish. My dream to care for people is to become a doctor and to cure the sick. My role model is Dr. Ben Carson. He is an intelligent man who specializes in separating conjoined twins. These children are now happier apart. Along with being a doctor, I would like to use my large income to help the homeless. I will give them food to eat, clothes to wear, and give them extra money so that they at least can afford things to make them comfortable. I believe that I can honor Dr. King's memory by doing these good things as well as doing my best in school. I also believe that Dr. King's life would have more meaning if we all would get good educations and work together to help the world. It would honor Dr. King if we used our gifts and started to make things better in our own communities. After that, our neighbors would spread the help to more cities then countries, and eventually it would spread over the entire world.
Now, we are in for another excellent music selection. This group has been a mainstay at this celebration. Their combination of student art and music has always been an exceptional tribute to Dr. Clinton. Please provide a warm welcome for the Breton Downs 5th grade class choir, directed by Miss Nancy Killian Boyd.
Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. Harriet Tubman.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the change that we seek. President Barack Obama.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Astronaut Neil Armstrong.
Living in harmony.
under the direction of Kevin Dobreff, Chair for the GRCC Music Department, please help me welcome once again the Grand Rapids Community College Choir with their presentation of A Prayer for Peace. Thought there was a little more, sorry. On behalf of Grand Rapids Community College, thank you for taking time to join us in celebrating the life and work of Dr. King. His was a voice that was taken too early from us, but one that will never cease to resonate. It takes many hands to produce an event of this nature, and I would like to thank all those who made today possible. Thank you to our amazing performers, Forest Hills Northern Trails, Breton Downs, and the GRCC Choir and Jazz Combo. Also thank you to Warner Norcross and Judd, our sound and media production teams, the GRCC Upward Bound students, the GRCC Campus Police, Ford Fieldhouse staff, the Woodrick Diversity Learning Center, and Student Life. I'd like to remind you that there's another event tonight here at the Ford Fieldhouse at 6:30 p.m. with a keynote speech by Dr. Randall Pinkett. If you've arrived by bus, please remain seated until you are dismissed over the loudspeaker. And thank you to all for being here today and recognizing the need to continue Dr. King's work. Safe travels. We look forward to seeing you again next year.